They said the sugar here could kill you with just one lick, sweet enough to stop your heart. Ethan Cross had never seen a factory so quiet. No smoke, no humming machines. Just a massive iron gate rusted like dried blood and a faded sign, Hollowridge Sugar Company, a place no one in town ever spoke of unless they were drunk or dying. The offer was too good, $3,000 a week for night security. All he had to do was watch over an abandoned sugar mill that hadn't operated since 1982. The recruiter warned, "No eating anything, not even dust." Ethan laughed. A joke, he thought. But as he walked past the gate, the air grew heavy, sticky. The smell of syrup coated his tongue like invisible molasses. The factory was a ghost. Conveyor belts stood frozen mid-process. Bags of sugar stacked high, untouched for decades, yet not a speck of mold. A thick, glassy layer of sugar glaze coated every surface. Machines, railings, even the floor like dried amber. Ethan turned on his flashlight. The beam landed on an old photo nailed to the wall. Workers smiling in white uniforms, faces smeared with sugar. The date, October 31st, 1982. The night of the sweet death, as urban legends called it. Over 70 dead. No survivors. He shivered, suddenly aware of how loud his own heartbeat was. Around 2 a.m., Ethan wandered into the refining room. That's when he heard it, faint whispers, like children chanting. He paused. The air felt wet. Whispers turned to gurgles. He followed the sound to a drain in the floor. A sticky brown ooze bubbled up, smelling sweet and rotten. Suddenly, the lights above flickered, revealing smeared handprints on the windows, inside. And then a voice behind him, low and cold. "Sweetness always wants more." Ethan spun. No one there. He retreated to the security office, hands trembling, trying to convince himself it was his imagination. He watched the monitor feed. 5 cameras. One showed movement. A rat scurrying across the sugar bag stacks. But then it stopped, twitched, and began to eat the sugar. Within seconds, the rat seized up violently. It convulsed, then popped, yes, popped, like a balloon filled with syrup. The camera staticked. When it returned, there was nothing left, not even blood. By 4 a.m., Ethan was hungry, desperate. He opened his lunchbox, empty. He cursed, knowing he left food inside. Frustrated, he walked back toward the main floor and stared at the nearest sugar bag. His stomach groaned. "1 grain won't kill me," he muttered. He reached out, wiped a bit off a machine, and placed it on his tongue. Nothing happened. Then, slowly, a sharp pain pierced his chest. His fingers numbed. He stumbled back, gasping. A shadow moved behind a silo. Ethan fell to his knees, vision blurring. The sugar on the floor shimmered like it was alive. Just before losing consciousness, Ethan spotted a leather-bound book under the desk. He crawled toward it, trembling fingers flipping pages. "To the next guard," it began. "You will taste it." We all did. That's how it begins. But the sugar doesn't just kill, it remembers. Ethan jolted awake on the cold, sugar-coated floor. His chest still burned, but he was alive. His tongue felt dry, coated. A faint humming echoed through the mill, like distant voices trapped in metal pipes. On the wall, the photo of the workers was different now. One man's eyes were gone, replaced with bleeding sugar crystals. Ethan blinked. It flickered, then returned to normal. Following a breeze, Ethan found a hidden door behind stacked sugar sacks. It led to a narrow tunnel, sticky walls lined with old worker uniforms, some still holding bones inside them. Tags on each said Batch A through D. As he stepped forward, a motion sensor light clicked on above, written in dried syrup on the wall. They tasted. They changed. Ethan passed a corroded pipe that began, whispering, "More. We need more." The voice was layered, dozens speaking as one. He backed away, but a gust of hot, sweet air pushed out from the pipe, filling the corridor with the smell of burnt sugar and rotting flesh. Suddenly, he heard footsteps, bare, wet, fast. He ducked into a small locker room. There, slumped against a locker, was a corpse, mummified and crystallized, sugar sprouting from its mouth and eyes like jagged flowers. It wore a security badge. Michael Graves, Night Watch, 1996. Ethan realized he wasn't the first, and maybe not the last. Ethan sprinted to the main entrance, but the gate was gone. Where it once stood was now a wall of white, pure sugar, pulsing like it was breathing. His walkie crackled. "You tasted it. Now you belong to us." Ethan collapsed, gripping his arm. Veins beneath his skin shimmered faintly, like sugar threads moving through his blood. And somewhere, deep in the refinery, a machine began to hum back to life. Ethan awoke, strapped to a steel table. Overhead, a massive refining machine roared back to life after decades of silence. Sugar dripped from its pipes like sap. Surrounding him were figures, not fully human. Their skin was crystallized, their eyes empty, glassy, former workers, former guards. They watched him silently, like harvesters awaiting ripeness. A figure stepped forward, once a man, now more sculpture than flesh. His voice gurgled with syrup. "You fed the mill, Ethan. You tasted. Now you process." Ethan screamed as a needle punctured his vein, drawing blood thick as molasses. The machine hissed, processing him. His blood turned into sugar, dripping, bottled. Between spasms, Ethan saw a screen flicker. Footage. Every night, God, every decade, all ended the same. The sugar was never natural. It was grown from people, their memories, their pain, refined into the sweet poison that killed hundreds. A voice echoed, "The sweeter it is, the more human it was." In a surge of strength, Ethan broke free. He lit a flare from the emergency box. The heat melted the sugar coating the walls. Cracks formed. Screams echoed from the pipes. He ran toward the center furnace. "Burn it," he whispered. "End it." Ethan hurled the flare into the heart of the refinery. Flames kissed the pipes. Sugar ignited like oil. The walls screamed. The crystallized workers shattered like glass. The factory trembled, collapsing. Weeks later, a child in a distant town opened a new candy, Hollowridge Originals. He smiled, tasting the syrup-filled center. Behind him, his shadow twitched, just a little.